Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jagdeep Ahluwalia, and I'm the founding secretary of the Indo-American Chamber of Commerce of Greater Houston, which I currently serve as executive director. The chamber president and chairman of our board, Tarush Anand, and our board join me in thanking Mayor Sylvester Turner, India's Consul General Asim Mahajan, and all the participants for joining today's webinar featuring Ms. Marsha Murray, the director of the City of Houston's Office of Business Opportunity Department. We want to start off by introducing our chamber's executive committee, our board and directors at large, and our advisors. Today's webinar will be recorded and forwarded to all participants, and we will load it to the chamber's website, iaccgh.com. Mayor Consul General Mahajan, we are proud to be serving the business community for over 20 years, and we work closely with our sister chambers and associations, and we have the following organizations partnering with us and joining us in today's webinar: the Asian American Hotel Owners Association, the Fort Bend Chamber of Commerce, the Greater Houston Business Procurement Forum, Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business Program, the Houston Business Development, Inc., the Houston Minority Supplier Development Council, the Houston West Chamber of Commerce, the Indo-American Political Action Committee of Greater Houston, the India Cultural Center, the Indian Doctors Association, the Indian Muslim Association of Greater Houston, Impact Hub Houston, India House, the Small Business Administration of the US government, SCORE, SEVA International, the Small Independent Motel Owners Association, the Texas West Africa Chamber of Commerce, TAI, the World Chamber of Commerce of Texas, and the SBDC at the Bar School at the University of Houston. Mayor Turner, IACCGH President Tarush Anand joins me in thanking you for your leadership. Thank you for making the time to visit India, where you led the trade delegation. And we are currently working on several outcomes of your delegation, which will bring more investment to Houston and create local jobs and strengthen our local economy. Today, Mayor, we thank you for joining us to make remarks, and we hope we will have you back in the month of August to deliver the keynote at an IACCGH Power Dialogue. We will be reaching out to your office to follow the normal protocols to invite you. But today we thank you for joining us to make some opening remarks, but we would like to invite you back in the month of August, sir, to deliver a full-blown power dialogue for the benefit of the community. As you can see, the chamber is an inclusive chamber. We appreciate your leadership. We admire your tenacity and the way you are helping every single Houstonian in these very troubled times. You're a man, sir, who needs no introduction, and I would now like to invite you to make your remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, I present my favorite Houstonian, a man we're all proud of, a man we are proud that has led us these past few years, the Mayor of Houston, Mayor Sylvester Turner.
Thank you, Jagdeep, and look, thank you for your leadership, and not just with this chamber, but the Indo-American Chamber, but just thank you for just being a tremendous partner right here with the city of Houston and with me as the mayor of this city. To the Consul General, to the president now of this chamber, let me just say good afternoon and to all of you. And certainly I'm excited to be with my director of the Office of Business Opportunity, Marsha Murray, who I know will simply be outstanding. This has been an incredible year. It remains an incredible year. So I want to thank each and every person in our city for just working together. And, we face some tremendous challenges in our city, but like we faced challenges in the past, together we will overcome them and we will get through these challenging times. I'm happy to be with you today. The last 3 months brought about unprecedented change in the way we convene and socialize, but we are #Houston Strong, and have resiliency in our blood. Houston is and remains a world-class city where community members take pride in their homes and in their businesses. And currently, Houston is ranked the most diverse city in the United States based on markers of social economics, culture, economics, household, and religious diversity. The city's Houston's landscape has been promising thanks to the work of local professional organizations and chambers of commerce such as yours. And I could not be more proud of the Indo-American Chamber and the work that you all have done and continue to do. And because of you and similar business-focused organizations, Houston is ranked #1 in the United States for minority entrepreneurs and #4 for women entrepreneurs. Even with COVID-19, our city remains on trend with the rise of women and minorities starting businesses at a significantly higher rate than white males. But these business owners still face several barriers to fully participating in the marketplace. Houston minority businesses are denied loans at 3 times the rate of non-minority owned business firms, and Houston's population is 75% non-white, yet minority and women-owned firms account for less than half of small business employers. Additionally, majority of small business firms have fewer than 20 employees. And with COVID-19 bringing an unprecedented economic downturn, we have seen the compounded effects of these barriers to our small business community. There have been several local efforts to support these businesses. These include a $10 million small business forgivable loan program through our county, which received over 7,000 applications. Houston's Business Development, Inc., a local nonprofit, has developed a low interest loan program using private dollars to assist micro enterprises that have been negatively impacted by the pandemic with loans of up to $10,000. The Houston Area Council, Area Local Development Corporation, has also developed a bridge loan program of up to $25,000 for small businesses awaiting disaster relief from the SBA. And they have also submitted a regional grant for approximately $2 million to recapitalize its existing revolving loan fund. And recently, the City of Houston's Office of Business Opportunity, OBO, released a financial pulse survey to our local businesses. Of those surveyed, only 40% of the small businesses that secured Paycheck Protection Program, the PPP, funds from the Small Business Administration found them to be enough, and only 15% of those who secured SBA Economic Injury Disaster Loan funds found that money to be sufficient. To help these small businesses bounce back, our city departments are developing grant and loan programs totaling $25 million. Funding sources include CARES Act funds and a Housing and Urban Development Section 108 funds, and the city is seeking to partner with local community development financial institutions to administer these funds. You'll be hearing more about that coming up real soon. OBO is developing our $15 million CARES Act funded program, Houston Small Business Economic Recovery Program, that will serve small businesses of different sizes, as well as local chambers of commerce. We are targeting businesses that were either ineligible for federal or local assistance or eligible but did not receive enough funding. And for this program, we want to make sure a wide variety of communities across Houston can receive these funds, including local minority and women-owned businesses enterprise. OBO is also working to help certified firms do business with the city, increase access to business planning services, credible credit services, and access to capital in order to ensure that business owners have the planning tools and financial education to win contracts and grow their businesses. Finally, all services provided by OBO are free, and we encourage members of the Indo-American Chamber to take advantage of these opportunities. In a few minutes, OBO Director Marsha Murray will speak more about these services and other OBO initiatives. And I look forward to working to our continued partnership in helping our city's businesses forge a path to resilience and recovery. Judge Dick, I accept your invitation for August. I look forward to participating. And quite frankly, if there's anything that you ask me to do or the Indo-American Chamber to do, look, the answer is always yes. Thank you for having me.
So, Mayor, I will salute you with the Indian form of greeting, the Namaste, which keeps the distance and is hygienic in today's circumstances. And for the benefit of our participants, I want to really admire the stamina that our mayor has. On our trip to India, we were tired and he would get up fresh and we would have a series of wonderful meetings all day. And every time he spoke, he was able to bring a gem of wisdom into that room. And because of his efforts, there are a series of ongoing dialogues with different institutions in India and our sister chambers to bring more investment into our region and to create more opportunities for exports to India. It's my honor and privilege that the Consul General of India is also joining us. And he will share with you, Mayor, and with the rest of our participants, some insight into the Indian investment into our region and the impact India is making on the global economy and the potential in the Indo-US relationship. With that, I would like to introduce the Consul General of India in Houston, the Honorable Aseem Mahajan, who joined the Indian Foreign Service in 1998. Prior to assuming charge as Consul General of India in Houston in January 2020, he was the ambassador to the World Trade Organization in Geneva. In his earlier diplomatic assignments, he has served as the Deputy High Commissioner in the Indian Mission in Kuala Lumpur and Dhaka, and as the Consul General of India in Osaka, Japan. He has also served in Indian missions in Tokyo and Laos. Japanese is his second language, in addition to English and Hindi and several Indian languages that he speaks. I would now like to welcome the Consul General of India in Houston, India's first citizen in Houston, a man who has endeared himself to the community to make his remarks. Consul General Mahajan.
Thank you, Jagdeep. Good afternoon to all of you. Mayor Turner, Ms. Marsha Murray, Director, City of Houston, Office of Business Opportunity, members of the Indo-American Chamber of Commerce of Greater Houston, and all those joining us today. I welcome all of you, and it's a great pleasure for me to join this webinar on serving Houston business during COVID and beyond. Mayor, I had the good opportunity of coming and calling on you and meeting you just before this pandemic broke. I remember it was just those initial 1 or 2 days, and we were fortunate, we exchanged ideas. You have visited India, which was a very substantive visit, which has resulted in considerable exchanges between both countries, not only in just trade and investment, but also people-to-people contact and many other areas. We are really going through a very challenging and a difficult time. This COVID-19 pandemic is of a monumental scale, which none of us has seen in our lifetimes, and all of us are working together. And I really wish to thank you, Mayor, your office, the City of Houston, the many other people across the states of Southern United States who are really been very supportive to help us in our activities, and we are all working together to combat this. And I like to say that, it is our united fight against COVID, and we will prevail. I'm sure we will get over this pandemic very soon. The Indo-US relations are multifaceted. We have a global strategic partnership, which is one of the key relationships and has the potential to be the defining one for this century. It has deepened in all spheres. And given that our economies are capable and complement each other, given commonality in our cultures, given the natural goodwill for each other, there is immense potential to strengthen these ties. We also had a very successful visit of President Trump to India in February this year, which was a very substantive visit. Mayor, I'm happy to report, of course, this Chambers event is about strengthening businesses and supporting them during the times of this pandemic. I need not overemphasize and highlight that these are really unprecedented times, and a lot of people are going through difficult times. And I'm sure we just had a webinar day before yesterday with some local Indo-American businessmen. And many of them were saying that they had many contingency plans, but none of this scale. They had, like, if you have 15 global offices, they had plans that if one goes offline, if two go offline, how will the others come and pitch in? But none of them had thought that all 15 will go offline and they will have to scale it up. And then the general uncertainty around. They try to do something and they try to do in a manner, but yet they don't know whether it will work. And then again, some new constraints and challenges come. But having said that, I'm happy to report that in the recent report of Confederation of Indian Industries, Texas has ranked as the highest state attracting Indian companies. There are over 40 companies now with an investment of $9.5 billion and having created 17,500 jobs. With the city of Houston, Mayor, we share a very special relationship, which is underlined by the fact that the Howdy Modi event, which was held in September last year, generated considerable excitement in both countries. And everyone in India, I came before meeting, and I think the event is still being recalled very fondly. They remember Houston, which actually places us in a position to do much more for this relationship and deepen it in all spheres. We are also really proud of the Indo-American community which resides in Houston. They are our very important partners, and they have played a very substantial role even during this pandemic. We have worked with several Indo-American community, social, religious, and other organizations across southern United States. And all of them have done whatever they could to support the communities, to support people, and also to do their best. And that really makes us proud, Mayor. On the trade and investment side, of course, we look forward to your joining us again in August. But you are well aware that our bilateral trade has grown very rapidly from 2.2 billion to 10 billion in a short period of time. India now ranks the 6th, but having said that, I should say the closing of the gap has been really quickly and it is moving up every year. Energy, Houston happens to be the energy capital, and in energy, in the last 3 years between India and United States, we have done tremendous amount of trade between both countries, which has grown from almost a scratch to a substantive amount now, and many energy companies are connected with Houston. We have our energy companies based here. And then India has also emerged amongst the top 5 export destinations for Houston. We have a large and growing presence of Indian companies here in areas like energy, information, communication, technology, automotives, manufacturing, life sciences, pharmaceuticals, and healthcare. And Mayor, you are well aware of how the Indo-Americans are contributing to creating jobs, to bring research here, to bring pioneer technologies, and jointly work with organizations like the Greater Houston Partnership, our Indo-American Chamber, which is represented today. They are all connected with the local communities and also with the local businesses to deepen these ties. And I really look forward to working much closely with you. This is a great initiative you're doing to support businesses, and I think this is a critical time for them, because these kind of times, as they say, at least in my lifetime, I have never seen something like this, and so have all of us. These are times which people are in distress, people are differently placed, everyone is not similarly placed. From the consulate's perspective, we have tried to support and do a lot for our own community, but also there were many Indians who were stranded, who were here on short-term visits, so we reached out to them, they have gone back. And I assure you that we will do our best to support the city of Houston in all your initiatives, not just in trade and investment, but other initiatives, cultural initiatives to promote people-to-people exchange, building any partnerships together, educational ties, research ties. Actually the canvas is very wide given the scope and depth of our relationship. And lastly, of course, I'm also happy to inform you and rather mention this, that we, with the Indo-American Chamber of Commerce of Greater Houston, the Greater Houston Partnership, the City of Houston, and other stakeholders, we are working on specific events to get Indian companies to come here to find meaningful partnerships and joint ventures for American companies there, and also whatever we can do to support any of your initiative for the community and for local businesses, we will really work closely with you, and I look forward to your continued support, guidance, and also the good opportunity of meeting you in person very soon over a meal or a cup of tea, and having got over this pandemic. And on a positive note, I think I tell everyone we should stay positive, we should stay safe, but there are a lot of opportunities also which this pandemic offers, especially for Indo-US relations, on supply chains, on deepening of our ties, which we will continue to explore. So thank you again, Mayor, for your time and joining us today, and thank you to the Chamber for putting this together. We will do many more such events. Thank you, Jagdeep ji.
Thank you, Consul General Mahajan. Consul General Mahajan, we really want to thank the Government of India for exceeding our expectations every time when they send us the Consul General. So we as a community are very proud of your warmth and your willingness to work with us in our common agenda. I also want to bring to your attention, and you've probably been briefed by Dr. Ray, our previous Consul General, that the perfect Howdy Modi event happened mostly because of the support of Mayor Turner and the city of Houston and the Harris County team. They really put their shoulder to the initiative, which was an unimaginable large program with the Prime Minister and the President of the USA in the same room with 55,000 people attending. And a lot of the for the success and the trouble-free execution of the program goes to our mayor, Mayor Sylvester Turner. Hats off to you, sir.
Thank you.
I also want to recognize the fact that our President Tarush Anand and our board is working very hard the expectations of the business community. And board members like Sanjay, who's on the Metro board, and Hasu Patel, who is in the Hotel Owners Association, are some of our members who've been working endless hours, as the Seva group led by Gitesh Desai, another chamber member. So the Indo-American community with mainstream America is working very actively and very hard to put ourselves in the shoes of the small business owners and see how we can help them. And that is why Tarush Anand, our president, our board, and I came up with this idea of this webinar series. Today is probably our 15th or 16th webinar. We started off with one on employment law, moved on to the CARE Act and the PPP program. Then we moved on to healthcare. And we have had these programs where we bring in leaders, the Consul General and Ms. Marsha, to talk about different programs for the benefit of the community. So with that, I want to thank both Mayor Turner and the Consul General for your opening remarks, and then move on to the keynote by the Director of the Office of Small Business Opportunities. So I would like to introduce Marsha E. Murray, Esquire, who was appointed by Mayor Sylvester Turner and confirmed by City Council to serve as the Director of the City of Houston's Office of Business Opportunity in April 2020, after having served as OBO's interim director. As director, responsible for leading the city's supply diversity, workforce development, and inclusion efforts with a focus on administering programs and initiatives. I want to make a correction. She is the director of the City of Houston's Office of Business Opportunity Department. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I would now like to hand over the program to Director Murray. If you have any questions for her, she will be speaking for the next 20 to 30 minutes. And if you have any questions for her, you can type them into the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. And once she finishes her formal presentation, we will come back and then moderate a Q&A session with her. I will wrap up the program at 4:10 and we will be done by 4:30 at the latest. With that, I present the Director of the Office of Business Opportunity, the Honorable Marsha E. Murray, Esquire.
Thank you so much, Jagdeep, for that introduction, and to the Indo-American Chamber of Commerce for inviting me to speak today. Are we queuing up my presentation? Okay, there we are. We are certainly in unprecedented times, as has been said so many times, and we recognize that as a city, we need to rise to the task of assisting Houston's small business community in any way we can. Today, I want to provide information about our core services and how we've tailored them to serve the community during COVID and beyond. Next slide, please. The Office of Business Opportunity is committed to cultivating a competitive and diverse economic environment in the city of Houston by promoting the success of small businesses and developing Houston's workforce, with a special emphasis on historically underutilized businesses and disenfranchised individuals. Our key objectives are to educate, connect, and grow small businesses and the workforce. Next slide, please. The Office of Business Opportunity performs several core functions to advance our mission. Our certification team is responsible for administering the city's certification program, as well as the city's local preference procurement program, Hire Houston First. Our contract compliance team enforces MWSBE goals on city contracts, in addition to ensuring employees are paid the required wages on construction contracts. We also have an external affairs team dedicated to providing business and workforce development initiatives, as well as increasing our
A little loudly, please. Can you speak a little louder?
Sure. Let me see. We also have an external affairs team dedicated to providing business. Is that better? Can you hear me?
That is much better. Thank you.
Okay. All right. They're dedicated to providing business and workforce development initiatives, as well as increasing our reach in the community. Finally, we maintain a close partnership with the Houston Airport System to ensure the inclusion of historically underutilized businesses on city and federally funded airport projects. Next slide, please. We offer the certifications listed on this slide, including 4 City of Houston certifications: Minority Business Enterprise, Women Business Enterprise, Small Business Enterprise, and Persons with Disability Business Enterprise local certification. We also, on behalf of the U.S. Department of Transportation, offer 2 federal certifications: the Disadvantaged Business Enterprise, as well as the Airport Concession Disadvantaged Business Enterprise certification. After business is granted certification, it is important that they keep up to date with their annual recertifications and triannual recertifications. Otherwise, these businesses may face decertification. We are in the process right now, my team is, of actually reaching out to businesses that are at risk for decertification. So I'm certainly encouraging anybody who's certified with the city, who's actually viewing this webinar, to make sure you submit your triannual and annual recertifications as soon as possible. Next slide, please. So our robust directory of certified companies serve as the city's supplier diversity pipeline that can be used to meet our minority women small business enterprise goals, as well as our disadvantaged business enterprise goals on City of Houston contracts, as well as to participate in many other contracting opportunities with goals across our region. Over the years, the directory has grown to include over 4,000 firms. We're really proud of that, representing 13 industries. Of these companies, 365 are minority business enterprise certified firms, are actually listed as Asian-owned firms, totaling 9.1% of all certified firms and 13.1% of all MBEs. Our certified firm directory is accessible to the public on our website. Next slide, please. Last fiscal year, of the more than $2 billion awarded in contracts by the City of Houston, more than $500 million, or 26.9%, went to certified firms. Next slide, please. Over 70 million of this amount was awarded to Asian-owned firms. We're committed to increasing these awards, and we work in many ways to make sure our network of companies is aware of the opportunities available to them. We do this by sending weekly emails, listing bid opportunities with the city and regionally, and we also partner with the city's strategic procurement division to assist newly certified companies with successfully navigating the city's procurement process through our quarterly I'm Certified What's Next workshop. Next slide, please. Of the 13 industry types, certified firms that provide construction services perform the most work with the city, followed by architectural and engineering firms, and the third being companies that offer business services and support. There's, however, a wide range of services needed by the city, and the Office of Business Opportunity encourages certified firms to proactively seek out opportunities in these areas. Next slide, please. To further support the small business community, we also offer a one-stop shop for Houstonians, regardless of whether or not they're certified, who are wishing to start, operate, or grow business in the Houston metropolitan area through our OBO Solutions Center. All services provided by our OBO Solutions Center are free, including our new business resource guides available in multiple languages. The various services that we provide are listed on this slide. I'd definitely like to highlight that we provide customized one-on-one business counseling services, and that's actually done by an in-house staff member, Dr. Portia Jackson. So I encourage businesses who are in need of any business counseling to definitely reach out to our office for those services. Next slide, please. I wanted to provide you with that overview of our office. And now I'd like to focus on how OBO pivoted during this pandemic to support the business community. To continue delivery of our core services while still maintaining quality, we knew our established channels needed modifications. So our team worked immediately to transition our services to a virtual space. While we canceled our in-person pre-certification workshops, we found success in recording updated content and making those workshops available online, similar to this platform that we're enjoying right now. This month, in response to the demand for virtual platform, our certification team began hosting live virtual certification workshops and providing Q&A sessions every week. Our weekly in-person workshop has also resumed. It's actually going on right now. It's every Thursday from starting at 2 o'clock. And for the safety of everyone, we're limiting that in-person workshop to 10 attendees who must pre-register for those workshops, and pre-registration can be done on our website. Next slide. To ensure we were truly addressing the needs of our customers in this economic downturn, we also released several surveys, including the Small Business Resiliency Survey and the Financial Assistance Pulse Survey. We used the results of these surveys to plan our next steps, including the Houston Small Business Economic Relief Program. As Mayor Turner mentioned earlier, this $15 million grant program is designed to help small businesses of different sizes as well as local chambers of commerce. I'd like to reiterate that for this program, we want to ensure a wide variety of businesses across Houston can receive these funds, including local minority and women-owned business enterprises. Companies must, of course, meet several requirements to qualify for this program, and I've actually on this slide listed some of those eligibility requirements. Next slide, please. Prior to releasing the surveys, one of our first initiatives was to create the OBO COVID-19 Resource Hub on our website. We wanted the Houston small business community to have a central location in which to find information about much needed resources. So we filled this online hub with links to health updates, loan information, and webinars, alternate revenue solutions, and unemployment information. With more than 1,500 visitors to the site from March to present, we knew our customers were taking advantage of this platform. Our resource hub has since been updated to include guidelines of how to safely and responsibly reopen businesses, and we'll continue to provide updates and new links as information changes become available. Next slide, please. We also found that this pandemic had the ability to bring out the absolute best in the community in community partnerships. In May, we launched the Houston Small Business Legal Consultations Program, a coordinated effort with the national law firm Vincent & Elkins and nearly 20 other top-tier law firms. Through this network of volunteer attorneys, the program provides free legal consultations by telephone about how to navigate loan and grant relief programs, taxes, commercial leases and contracts, employment, intellectual property, and other general business issues. Since its inception, the program has had a 100% placement rate for applicants. 22 small businesses have been matched with pro bono attorneys as of this week, with 7 more awaiting placement. And our partners are extremely eager to help even more people. We encourage you to spread the word about this free program, so please feel free to share the application link that's actually listed on this slide. Next slide, please. We'd also like to let you know about our Access Granted webinar series, which we launched with the goal of providing guidance to small businesses about ways to overcome challenges brought on by COVID-19. These webinars take place twice a month with guest panelists sharing information about disaster relief, virtual networking, and financial assistance programs, as well as contract bidding assistance, business development, legal resources, and procurement. Each webinar ends with a Q&A session, giving attendees a chance to connect with our panelists. Our next access granted webinar is July 9th from 2 to 3 p.m., and we invite you to join us. Topics will include business resiliency, how to use social media to market and grow your customer base, and how to prepare your business for financial uncertainty. Next slide, please. Adjusting to COVID-19 required our office to quickly learn and adapt to video conferencing platforms, which have played an integral role in the continuity of our scheduled workshops and with our new initiatives. We also use these platforms to celebrate achievements and to embrace the new normal. OBIO hosted a virtual graduation for our Build Up Houston Accelerate Latinx, which are executive education programs designed to help small businesses scale their operations. With the support of their families and friends, graduates celebrated with a virtual toast and proudly displayed their graduation stoles. Mayor Turner attended to show his support, and the air of jubilation was not lost to the pandemic. Houston also recently served as the host of the Living Cities City Accelerator Virtual Convening. This program brings cities and public servants together to find innovative approaches to improve municipal services. This convening focused on inclusive procurement initiatives and COVID-19 response. Even with this format, representatives from each city networked and shared ideas by using virtual breakout rooms. And perhaps more importantly, technology helped us take care of OBIO's most valuable assets, our staff. In our last department meeting, most of our 38-person team participated in a virtual mindfulness exercise, and everyone had the opportunity to reflect about positivity and gratitude despite trying times. Next slide, please. Undoubtedly, teleconferencing and other technologies will continue to be essential in the future. With that in mind, we're getting ready to launch our annual business plan competition, Liftoff Houston, in a completely virtual platform. Liftoff Houston is open to all Houston residents who meet the application criteria listed on this slide. More than $210,000 has been awarded in startup capital to small business entrepreneurs for the past 7 years, thanks to the generosity of Capital One Bank. Application for this year's competition opened on July 8th, and winners will be chosen in 3 categories: innovation, service, and product. Those who do not qualify to compete also have the option to complete the program's free educational track, and I certainly encourage businesses to actually learn more about that educational track. Since its inception, hundreds of small business entrepreneurs have been able to benefit from the business development education offered by Liftoff Houston. Next slide, please. I'd also like to talk about our Build Up Houston Accelerate Latinx programs. Established in 2014, our Build Up Houston program has helped expand the capacity of small businesses in Houston, especially those in the construction industry seeking to do business with the city. The program utilizes the Streetwise MBA curriculum provided by Interrise, a nonprofit organization focused on helping established small business owners scale their companies. This year, we launched Accelerate Latinx, which uses the same curriculum administered in both English and Spanish. Although this program has primarily been offered to construction companies in the past, we are aiming for our next cohort to represent the hospitality, goods and services, professional services, and technology industries, many of which have been hit hard by COVID-19. Next slide, please. I would also like to talk about workforce development, which is the newest arm of the Office of Business Opportunity. Our Turnaround Houston Resource Fairs and the Houston Builders Institute will undergo a revamp that will allow participants to best take advantage of program offerings. Turnaround Houston is an initiative by Mayor Turner that aims to assist hard-to-employ Houstonians. For COVID-19, we modified the Turnaround Houston page on our website to contain links to employment-related resources, opportunities for job seekers, mental health and wellness resources, and assistance for previously incarcerated persons. We are currently assessing the best ways to offer Turnaround Houston post-COVID, including resuming in-person resource fairs. To help us advance our workforce development initiatives, OBO is also in the process of selecting a workforce development manager. The successful candidate will also assist with our Houston Builders Institute, a carpentry training program for young adults that is administered in partnership with the Home Builders Institute, a nonprofit construction training organization. Next slide, please. We're also working on inclusive procurement initiatives such as Ascend Houston. With the partners listed on this slide, we're working to assist smaller companies gain prime level opportunities by providing them with support in obtaining contracts through rotating housing rehabilitation work with the city's housing department. In 2019, we also received a $50,000 City Accelerator grant through Live in Cities and the City Foundation. Through our participation in this program, we're developing strategies to unbundle contracts and to offer programming that can help minority-owned businesses address inherent marketplace barriers to growth, including meeting performance bond requirements on contracts, as well as having adequate access to capital and insurance. Next slide, please. COVID-19 taught us that there's much more to be explored in terms of taking operations to the virtual space. As we look towards the future, we'll continue to leverage video conferencing technology, as we've seen an increased preference with those formats from our customers. In fact, unique views of our pre-certification workshops in English and Spanish surpassed previous in-person attendance rates, and views increased by approximately 240 over an eight-week period. During this pandemic, we also saw a surge in our applications for certification. We will also remain diligent in protecting the health and safety of our customers and staff. OBO has installed plexiglass partition in our reception area and enforced limited seating in our public areas and conference rooms. We're also providing all employees with personal protective equipment, and social distancing guidelines are enforced. Our team is also developing new external affairs strategies that will inform Houston's small business community about all the functions of OBO. Our goal is to forge more pathways so that small businesses and entrepreneurs can take full advantage of our free services. Again, our very free services. We're thoughtful in the creation of our programs and initiatives because we want to see them make a real impact with all of you. Next slide, please. Before I close, I'd like to share a few words about Mayor Turner's Mask Up initiative. Effective this past Monday, everyone over the age of 10 in Harris County is required to wear a mask, wear a face covering while in businesses or on commercial properties, including employees and all visitors and customers. Failure to comply may result in a fine not to exceed $1,000 for each violation. According to the Houston Health Department, COVID-19 cases and hospitalizations continue to increase in Houston and Harris County. In the first half of June, more people went to the emergency room for COVID-19 related issues than the entire month of May, with a significant increase in people aged 18 through 44. Our health department also reported 844 new cases of COVID-19 on Saturday, June 20th. If you need a mask, call 311 or contact your city council member. Next slide, please. And with that said, I'd like to thank the Indo-American Chamber for having me today. I invite you to follow the Office of Business Opportunity on social media with the handle @HoustonOBO. I echo Mayor Turner's sentiments. COVID-19 has certainly changed the way we do business, convene, and socialize, but we truly are Houston strong and have resiliency in our blood. We have survived floods, hurricanes, and now we will survive this pandemic. As we look forward towards recovery, we can see promise in the business landscape, thanks to organizations such as yours. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Director Murray. As a Houstonian by choice, we have a lot of people on today's call that were born Texans. I got here as soon as I could, and that was probably one of the best decisions I took. And a lot of the people I know who are members of the Chamber or members of the Greater Houston community feel the same about this great city. Not just because of the mayor, but because of people like you who put your life into this calling to serve the community. Because the work you do is a calling. The ability that you have to help the community is unbelievable. And you have a wonderful staff that supports you. We've known you and Norma for a long time. And whenever we call, we get an immediate response. So on behalf of the broader Houston business community, chambers of commerce and associations, I want to offer you my thanks. As far as questions are concerned, the one question that I have right now is, will we be sharing the presentation? And the answer to that is yes. We will be actually sharing the complete recording of today's program with all our partner organizations, who I'll name one more time at the end of the program, with all the participants, and we will be loading it to our website. The belief is that the knowledge that you share, as the knowledge that is shared by other speakers in our previous webinars, is valuable. So if you go to our website, iaccgh.com, and click on a tab which says News, and then you click on News again, you will be taken to a screen which shows you the flyers for all our recent webinars, and each of those links to the recordings. So we will be loading the presentation. We will also be loading the recording of today's program, and we'll be sharing the slide set that we had included in today's presentation, sharing the names of our partner organizations. So while we are getting ready for any further questions, so the questions I have for you right now is, can we get a copy of Ms. Murray's slides? Can you share the PowerPoint? So those are two questions we have. While we are waiting for any further questions, I'm going to invite Bhavna to take us back to the slides showcasing our partner organizations. So Bhavna, can you take the slides back to where we were showcasing our partner organizations? As I mentioned, we have as our partners today the Asian American Hotel Owners Association. We have the Fort Bend Chamber of Commerce. We have the Greater Houston Business Procurement Forum, Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses, the Houston Business Development Inc., the Houston Minority Supplier Development Council, the Houston West Chamber of Commerce, the Indo-American Political Action Committee of Greater Houston, India Culture Center, the Indian Doctors Association, the Indian Muslims Association of Greater Houston, Impact Hub Houston, India House, the SBA Small Business Administration, SCORE, SEVA International, the Small Independent Motel Owners Association, the Texas West Africa Chamber of Commerce, TIE Houston, the World Chamber of Commerce of Texas, and the SBDC at the University of Houston. The reason I wanted to mention these again was, in our slide set, we have showcased each of these partners with their contact details, because each one of these partners is an independent resource for the benefit of the business community. With that, since we do not have any further questions, I invite Bhavna to bring up the slide for our next event, which is on the 30th of June. And this event focuses on how to navigate the PPP forgiveness rules for business and self-employed, because many of our members had applied for and successfully received the PPP loans that were given. And if you remember, there were certain criteria which would convert these loans into grants that would be forgiven. So on the 30th of June, our past president, Swapan Dhairewan, who is a CPA, will be moderating a panel discussion with Rimple Mushrawala and Mahesh Desai, both CPAs, who will be talking about payroll protection program simplified, forgiveness criteria and record keeping, certification and calculations, and complementing EIDL advances. So this will be an important program for the benefit of the community. With that, let me see if any more questions have popped up. So it looks like you did such a good job that questions have been answered. Are there any other remarks you would like to make in closing before we move on to the closing remarks?
Yeah, I just want to emphasize that, the Office of Business Opportunity is here for the community. We want to hear your feedback. We want to hear your constructive feedback. Thank you so much again for having me today.
Well, thank you very much for making yourself available, because we know we can always count on you. With that, I will request Bhavna to please pull up the slide of our sister organizations, some of whom were not partners today, but work with us on different initiatives, and our media partners. So we have a host of media partners who reach out media through the radio, through television shows, to spread the word about incoming programs and also share information post-event. With that, it's been an honor and a privilege to have worked with you in your office, Director Murray. It's been an honor and a privilege to have worked with our sister chambers and other partner organizations. Bhavna, will you show the last slide with our contact details? So if anybody has any ideas for further webinars or programs, you can contact me on my cell phone, 832-746-8372, or you can email the chamber either at info@isccgh.com or jagdeep@isccgh.com. I encourage you to visit our website and see for yourself the work the chamber is doing. With this, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for all of you for joining today's program. Since there don't see, let me check one more time if there are any questions. Since there are no more questions, I once again want to thank the Mayor and the Consul General for having joined us. I want to thank Director Murray for having made the time to make such a wonderful presentation. I want to thank each and every one of our partner organizations for joining us today and spreading the word. And I want to thank Bhavna Kalyan, thanks to whom we have such seamless, well-conducted webinars. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Tarush Anand, the chairman of our board, and my board of directors, we once again thank you all for participating. And we wish you to stay safe and see you on the 30th. Please register for the event on the 30th and join us on the 30th for our next webinar. Thank you very much.